right, good morning everybody. It is Friday, February 20th, so we're more than halfway through February, heading toward March, and we got a light day today, only 2 loads out of Tamaqua down to Fogelsville, so that is subject to change. They may add loads or we may end up going somewhere else, but right now that's how it stands, is that we'll have 2 loads today. Little wet yet, kind of raining lightly. We had some heavier rain this morning when I woke up. Actually, it was downpouring for a while, but right now we just got some light rain mist. Temperature is, where is it on truck? 37, so not super warm, but still above freezing. And that heavy rain probably did do a good job of washing the salt off the roads. But there's a caveat to that I will tell you about after the intro. Alright, well, it's raining a little bit harder than I thought it was when I did that opening segment. Didn't need wipers on full speed right now. Looks like there's a rainbow on the street here. Somebody was leaking some serious oil. I don't know if the camera is picking it up, but there's quite a rainbow going up the middle of this lane here. I have to be a little careful when we tap the brakes up here by the stop sign. It might be a little slick. As you can see, we still got a snowpack. I thought that we would have melted some of this off, but it really didn't get as warm yesterday as they thought. It barely made it to 40. And today is going to be about the same thing. Like I said, right now it's 36. And I don't think they wanted to get much warmer than that. And then tomorrow maybe only about 40. And as far as the caveat to the rain washing the salt off the roads, Old Man Winter are gonna put it right back on Sunday, because there's a couple of scenarios that might play out depending on which computer model might be closest to verifying. The European model gives us a couple of inches of nuisance snow. The British Canadian model give us maybe just a little bit more, maybe 4 or 5 inches of snow. Some other models are in the 1 to 2, 3 to 4 range. And then there's the GFS, the American Global Model, that has held on to this for almost all week now. I haven't talked about it. I didn't want to get all down and depressed in the last video, but in that model, it's been showing a tightly wound up close to the coastline storm, which if that model were to verify, we would probably get 12 to 15 inches up there. Southeastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey would probably get 2 feet or more, and there'd be blizzard conditions along I-95. Nobody knows for sure which model is going to verify. Most people think it's not going to be the GFS, but every now and again you get a surprise, and this may be the weekend that we get the surprise. So we didn't melt all the snow, but we melted it down pretty good. We're only down to like an inch in my backyard, but enough to keep it covered. But we melted it down pretty good. Next warm spell would probably make most of it disappear. But if we get another foot and a half of snow, then of course it comes back. And then next week is supposed to be a little on the chilly side, at least Monday through Wednesday. Lows in the teens and highs only in the 20s. So again, after the snow, it won't go anywhere for a few days. And it's such a shame, because one of the biggest parts of the snow that irritated me was the dirty, salty roads and dirty, salty cars. And we had a pretty heavy rain overnight that for sure washed that salty grit off the roads and onto the shoulders and kind of cleaned them up a little bit. And now it's going to come right back again. But not much we can do about it, but it just seems like it doesn't matter which model verifies, whether it's 2 inches or 20 inches. We're going to get some snow on Sunday, so I have to bring the cameras back out Monday and show you what we got. But then again, I don't know, enough of you might live along the East Coast that you already have known what we got, but still, it'll make for an interesting video if we had a big snowstorm again. Alright, so we're here loading the first one. Only 2 people were here so far today. One just shortly after midnight and one about an hour ago. So it well hasn't been hit too hard today at all. Just to touch a little more on that snow potential for Sunday, the computer models today might really hone in on what we're going to get, hopefully. Right now there's such a spread in the models from one to another that we really don't know how much snow we're going to get. National Weather Service right now is saying 3 to 5 because they don't know. Hopefully as the day goes on and the computer models, the spread will narrow, and we'll start to figure out exactly what we're going to get. They run every 6 hours. The big global models run every 6 hours. Same with the shorter term mesoscale models. And then there's some super short term ones that run every hour. But hopefully they start to hone in on solution, because right now we just don't know what we're going to get. We're probably going to get some, but we don't know how much. And actually, as I'm talking to you guys, I'm thinking maybe I should make weather videos and not trucking videos, because I do know a little bit about it. You know, I can read the models and kind of figure out what's going on to a point. I'm not a meteorologist. I don't have all the math skills and stuff that they have, but I can read the models to a point and kind of figure out what's coming. But this one has everybody perplexed, because it could be, like I said, anywhere from 2 inches to 22 inches. We just have to wait until either today or tomorrow to maybe hone in on what's going to be the final outcome. But anyway, we're loading here. It's cold. It did slow down. It's not raining quite so hard anymore, but it's cold. We're going to go in the building and wait this one out, and then we'll talk to you heading down to the plant. All right, so we're waiting here for our arrow, and there it is. I knew we were going to get it. So we're down here at Fogelsville. We're just about to the plant. We've got to make this left here. Let's see what it's like down here. Like I said, we only had 2 loads scheduled today, so it can't be super busy. Although that's what I thought on Wednesday when I made my last video and we kind of sat down here for a while. And yesterday, everything went smooth. I was in and out of here, all 3 of my loads yesterday. No delays whatsoever. So I don't know what we're going to have today. We could have delays, or we could be in and out. See, I don't know. I see some headlights down there already, so it looks like a couple guys are on the pad. We'll find out when we get further in here. There's 2 tankers. The other headlight is UPS truck in the loading dock. So 1 pad is open, 2 of them are sitting there, so I would imagine that we should have green lights and we should be able to unload. We'll see when we get closer. 4 ways on. Do we have lights? Or is it one at a time? It looks... oh, we have lights. All right, we have lights. Now, I'm going to do with this truck what I could never do with the Kenworth. And that's flip it right here, even with trailers in the dock. That's good. No delays today. Lose his seatbelt. I don't like to back up with a seatbelt. Kill that grade gripper. That sometimes makes it hard to back up because it wants to hold you back. Especially when we go up over the hump on the pad here, because there's a hump built into the middle by where the drive tires sit to give more pitch to the trailer to empty it out. And you try to back over that thing, if you stop, then the grade gripper grabs and then it holds you back and it makes it hard to get where you need to be to get the hose hooked up. This way, even if you do pause for a second, you can still back up. We're in. Alright, so we're down here, we're unloading, but we're not going to be able to talk to you. There's trucks on either side of me, and another one just came in, so there's going to be somebody here the whole time I'm unloading. So we're hooked up, we're unloading. 20 minutes from now, we'll be leaving. Alright, So we're done unloading down there, and we are headed back northbound to get our second one, coming up here on the Applewood light, which looks like it's red because I see people hitting their brakes. I was hoping it would hold green, even though I'm empty and we don't have to start on this hill, but yep, it's gonna hold red. We got that last one red, the one I'm not crazy about. This one doesn't bother me too much, but it's nice when it stays green and we don't have to get started and pull this hill. But like I said, empty is not too bad, but especially when we had the loaded van, then sometimes it takes a while to get going. But I mentioned coming off the mountain about our night shift guys having a bit of a problem last night. This was closed here coming down this hill or going up this hill, whichever way you want to look at it. See, now you got a car making a left here. Just beyond where he made the left, coming down the hill up here, there was a head-on collision last night. It happened about 7 o'clock. And so this was closed from 7 o'clock till midnight last night. So our night shifters, the ones that pulled 8s, they were stuck. They couldn't detour, so they had to sit and wait it out. And the ones that pulled 6s, they were able to detour down around Schnecksville, stay on 309 up there instead of coming down 100. And if you're coming up from the plant, jump on 22 there, 78, take that over to 309, come up through Schnecksville, bring you back up here where 100 ends. So the 6s, they had a little bit longer of a trip, but the 8s, they can't detour because they have to follow the permit. So I think one of them at least was stuck down here for 5 hours waiting for that accident scene to get cleared up. It was a fatal head-on collision, and whenever it's a fatal, then they have to do reconstruction and everything else. So it took a while for them to get that cleaned up and cleared up and allow traffic to proceed as normal. So the poor guy sat for 5 hours waiting to deliver his load. So last night wasn't a fun night for our night shifters. But anyway, other than cold and the rain, so far today, not too bad. By cold, I mean it's just cold and damp and raw. It's above freezing, and that's still a plus, all things considered, but it's still not the nicest of days. Alright, so we're here loading up the second one, and as I told you guys, today was subject to change. Once we deliver this second one down there, there's a loaded van that I need to take up to Hazleton. I just got the message somewhere along the line while I was driving up here, so once we get down there, pick up that loaded van, take that up to Hazleton. Hope the one that was dropped there this morning is empty, and then we'll be able to bring the empty one back. So hopefully, I hope I don't have to sit up there and wait for one to get empty yet on top of it. That I don't want. I don't mind going up there and making the day a little longer. It gives me an extra load, extra money, but I don't want to have to sit up there and wait while the other one is being unloaded or live unload the one I take up there. Hopefully that one's empty and it's just the normal drop and hook that it's supposed to be, but we will see, and we'll talk to you later on. Alright, we're just about ready to top the Ridge Cup here. We just went through some fog on the north side of the Ridge Cup. I thought it would be worse when we got up top, but it actually got a little bit better now as we're topping it and going down the other side. Kind of funny, I mentioned the word van when we were going past that Applewood light, talking about how pulling that hill empty isn't a problem, but when we got a loaded van to go up to Hazleton, and then it's a little bit harder of a pull if we get that light red. I should have never mentioned anything about that van because I invoked bad karma. Because as I told you back there at the well, there was an extra van load down there in Fogelsville that I need to take up to Hazleton. And I'm just laughing about it because it's just kind of funny. I don't really think about the vans or talk about the vans until I actually get one. Today I talked about the van and now I got one. So, but I don't know. This road here, ever since we thawed out and got a little bit of rain, has gotten even bumpier than it was before. And there's a couple of new potholes that opened up down here that you got to watch for. The the section I mentioned that they don't have on the docket to be fixed until 2029. And so we're going to be dealing with this for 4 more years or 3 more years of rough riding through here. Trying to avoid wherever water lays, because that's usually where the potholes are, and it hides them until you hit one and then you get your teeth rattled. So anytime I see some standing water, I try to sidestep it when I can. Yeah, this road is rough, just like the Mile Hill is going up from hometown into McAdoo. 2 sections of 309 that they just neglected. Probably been I've been up in this area for 25 years, and they haven't been paved in the 25 years that I'm here, so probably 30 to 40 years since these roads were last paved, and they're certainly showing it depending on what kind of vehicle you drive. But I just wish this mist would stop. It's really dreary out, and the mist is just kind of like, it's bringing you down, bringing me down a little bit. Even though it's above freezing, it's just getting a little old, being wet and misty already. It started Wednesday afternoon and really kind of hasn't let up. Yesterday was dry-ish, but now today, so far, right from daybreak has been misty and rainy, so it's supposed to stop this afternoon. We'll see. Alright, see, there is a creek over there. Didn't look like it the other day, being frozen, but there's definitely a creek there. That's the Jordan Creek. Eventually goes through downtown Allentown and dumps into the Lehigh River down there. Gets its start up here somewhere. On this side of the Blue Mountain, I don't know where, but gets its start up here and meanders its way down into Center City, Allentown before dumping into the Lehigh River. But yeah, most of the ice is free of that particular stream. The one that runs along 895 back to our shop, that one's still pretty frozen over yet. I don't know if it's just because it's colder up there or not as much water volume, but that one's still frozen over for the most part. You can see some water in it now, but it was completely frozen over. This one you can see some spots back when it was cold, but now this one's just about free of ice now. You can see the water's a little bit muddy in there, but it's all water now. Alright, so we're unloading the second one. Thank goodness there's no delays here because of adding that van on, because when we were only scheduled for 2 loads, that gets me home in time that the wife and I can go out to dinner tonight, so we kind of made dinner plans. And should still be able to keep them as long as nothing goes sideways with the van load, but I already checked in out there at the kiosk and got my trailer number, so I know what I'm picking up. We only have 2 trailers, so I know one's up here, one's down here, one's up there, so I kind of know what trailer I'm getting to if I drive down the line, but still got to check in so that they know you're taking it, and then we'll go out the back and we'll print our own paperwork up, and then we'll take the ride up to Hazleton. But yeah, it's good that there's no delays down here. Probably 3.5 until I unload this, and until I hook up the van, go up there, check in, put it in the dock, get the empty, come back down. It's probably going to be about a 4-hour turn from this point. So we should get home about maybe 5:30 tonight. But it did make for a longer day by adding the van, because it is quite a ride as far as what we do from here all the way up to Hazleton. But I think we'll be able to make our dinner date tonight. So would have been nice if we wouldn't have got it, but we got it, so extra money in the paycheck, but we'll just get home a little bit later tonight than we were expecting to. But, all right, we'll talk to you on the way out with the van. All right, all we gotta do, unlike with the water tanker, when we leave empty and we just bypass and roll straight on through, we gotta stop here, go inside, and there are 2 little computer kiosks there. We can pick one, enter our information, and then print the bills out. So we're gonna go do that, and I will talk to you in a bit. 2 copies of the bill of lading. Hot off the presses. And I mean literally, because when they came out, they felt nice and warm on these cold fingers. So when they say hot off the presses, they mean it. Although it had a different meaning years ago as compared to these computer printers today. But nonetheless, it still generates some heat. But we are good to go. It's probably going to take us about an hour and a half to get up to Hazleton, as long as Tamaqua traffic ain't all kind of messed up. So it's 1:17 now. We should get up there about 2:45, give or take. We'll see. Take a look there at the right, that drainage channel there full of water between the rain we had overnight and the snow melt down here, which you see a lot of it is gone except for the piles. That little drainage channel flowing pretty good, like it does in the summer with a thunderstorm. Oh, combination of warmer temperatures down here and just a little bit less snow than what we had gotten up north, and more of their snow is gone than our snow. However, like I said, Sunday we're going to put some of it back. Don't know exactly how much, but we're going to put some of it back. And I'm on the fence. I don't like snow, as y'all know, so I'm kind of on the fence. I hate nuisance snows more than I hate big snows. So if we're going to get one that's going to salt up the roads and make us do all kind of work, then I would rather have a big blockbuster than to have a nuisance snow. If we're going to do it, let's do it right. That's the way I feel about it anyway. Maybe, you know, of course 2 inches of snow is a lot easier to shovel and move than 22 inches of snow, and it'll melt off a lot faster, but I kind of don't want it at all. So if we're going to get one, let's make some history while we're doing it. So anyway, we'll see what's going to happen. Nobody knows yet. The computer models are still kind of all over the place, and I don't think we're going to get 22 inches of snow. Even if we get a significant snow, it's not going to be anywhere near the 22 inches. The people who might get that much snow is South Jersey down the shore in the Delmarva Peninsula. That's pretty much ground zero for the biggest snow totals, because this is going to be a coastal storm. So further away from the coast, the less snow. So we may get between 5 to 10 if it's going to be a significant enough storm, but I doubt we see the 20 inches that some other places might get. And then again, we might not get much at all. Probably, like I said earlier, I'll hone in on that tonight and tomorrow morning and get a better idea of who's going to get how much snow. But anyway, we're making our way out the industrial park. You know the routine: up 100, up 309 to Tamaqua, up Mile Hill to 81 in Hazleton. So we'll talk to you somewhere up the line. All right, now we are coming into everybody's favorite coal region town, Tamaqua. And let's see how traffic is. It's not as bad as it could be, because we could have been backed up back there past Owl Creek Road, where the 2 lanes merge into one, but excuse me, we kind of rolled real nice right in. Now, I see a couple of green lights up there that will probably not hold until we get there. I will be really surprised if they do, because they've been green for a while, as they say, a stale green. So now, as long as come on, at least let's get this one. That Bronco there had to, well, we're gonna take it now. That Bronco there had to lollygag around that turn there. We were close enough to the intersection that I took it. This one shouldn't. Yeah, see, it's green already. And the other one, I can see the walk light flashing red, so that means that one's just about ready to flip green. So we should get through town here pretty good. sometimes you can get every single one red. If you get that first one red there by Family Dollar, then a lot of times you'll end up getting every single one in town red. If you can make that first one, then sometimes you get what we got here, where a little bit of a slowdown, but not an actual stop. Now, see if we can hold this one. Quite a few vehicles on both these streets, so I don't know. No. See, now we're back too far. I knew this one was going to flip. Seeing cars to the left, to the right, and straight ahead, I knew this one was about to flip. We were back too far. Now what's going to happen here is it's going to turn for I think it's going to turn for the other side first. Yep. Oh, now this one here to my... Yeah, I see what they're going to do. That's called the... Oh, no, they're going to go in the parking lot. I was fully expecting them to pull a slingshot move, which, considering the traffic behind me, I could see them doing it, but they actually didn't. Street, and yesterday was a day of some pretty serious accidents, because I'm going to show you where there was one yesterday afternoon too. Up here, a car had busted through the guardrail and ended up down in the little Schuylkill River to our right, and ended up on its roof, so they had to do a water rescue down there. I have no idea how bad the lady was hurt, but they did have to pull her out of the car and lift her up onto the road up here, because it's about 15 foot from the road surface down to the river. You see these orange barrels up here? This is where I guess she didn't realize the road curved to the left, and she just went straight, busted through that guardrail and right down there into the river. Oh, that's a pretty nasty one. But anyway, through Tamaqua we went, and now we're just gonna climb up the hometown hill, level off, climb up the bumpy mile hill, get on the interstate, and proceed to the plant, where I hope we don't have any kind of delays in getting this dropped and hooked. All right, so this was about one of the easiest van drop and hooks I've ever done up here. Real easy check-in, real quick. Went down the line, found the spot to put it in. It wasn't the one he told me to, because it was occupied, so I slid it down to the other direction. Wrote the number on the bill, took it in, guy answered the door, signed my paperwork, thanked me for writing the new spot down on the bills. Found my empty over there. Usually it's over on the other side of the building. Found it on the same side. I dropped the loaded one on. I'm hooked up. Pre-trip, I'm ready to roll. I'm just taking a 5-minute smoke break here, and then we're going to roll back down to Fogelsville, drop this thing, grab the tank, and then go home. That'll be our day. So we may still be able to make it out to supper tonight, just maybe a little bit later than we were going to, but hopefully the wife will still want to go out. So we'll see. I'll call her later. She doesn't even know I came up here. I tried calling and she didn't answer, but she's at work, so maybe she couldn't answer her phone at that particular moment. So we'll try again and let her know that I had this extra run, and we'll be going out a little later tonight. But we're just about done up here. We're going to roll here in a few minutes. Talk to you on the way back down. All right, so we made it through Tamaqua. Not much traffic in there, and we are rolling south of town here along the little Schuylkill River. You can see it there. That was pretty much halfway frozen over too, and there's no ice in there at all either. But rolling down here towards South Tamaqua, this misty drizzle is starting to get annoying in varying intensity. Sometimes I need to run the wipers full. Sometimes I need to run the wipers on mist. Then it'll stop, and then I'll shut them off, and then it'll come back again. But anyway, so we're bouncing our way down through here, because this is all bumpy from Tamaqua all the way down there to Snyder's. I showed you the other section that was super bumpy. Well, this is pretty bad too, and there is no time frame for this one to be fixed. From the light down here where we come out of the well down to Snyder's, that's listed as 2029 for repair. But this section up here, there is no time frame. So they're at some point beyond 2030 is probably when they'll even think about addressing the problems with this road. And there's a lot of them because it's very bumpy too. And there's every spring potholes open up and they got to patch them. And lately, they used to at least put crack filler down and try to preserve the road. But the last few years, they haven't even put crack fill down. So water seeps in and the road's getting worse and worse and worse. And there's no plans to fix it. I don't know why the state is letting this road deteriorate the way it is, but it's pretty bad. So, but anyway, like I told you up there, that was one of the faster dropping hooks we've ever done. There's been others that were good, but there's been some that weren't very good, and it took forever to check in. And, a couple times we had to live unload up there, but this one went pretty well. Like I said, half hour in and out of that place. So cannot complain about that. And right now it's 3:30, so we're already south of Tamaqua at 3:30. So I'm thinking that we're going to get down to the Fogelsville plant between 4 and 4:15. Do we check in and drop this and then hook up to our tank, come back, fuel it, put DEF in it. Like I said, about 5:30. I think we're gonna get done about 5:30. I have to see how right I am. We're back down here at Fogelsville, and I don't know that I've ever showed you checking in down here, so we're gonna try and see how it goes. Hopefully there isn't any delays here. Hopefully everything goes as good as it went up in Hazelton. These guys here, they're either sleeping or waiting to be called to a door. They probably already checked in and were told to loop around and come back out. And wait until they got a phone call. So all we gotta do is drop the empty down here. So hopefully we don't have much of a problem checking in. Although I see there's 2 trucks up there. Oh boy, I was hoping I'd be able to get to one of the kiosks, but I'm gonna have to wait behind these guys. Hopefully there isn't a delay. Sometimes it takes a while to check in. Both of them have their doors open, so that means both of them are still trying to talk to these guys. So I guess rather than burn up footage, we will take a break here and I'll turn the cameras back on. Well, maybe this guy to the right's gonna move. Let's see if he's done checking in and he's gonna move, because he did close his door. Alright, we are moving up. Now, let's see if we can get a quick check-in.
Shipping. Please wait until we connect you with an agent.
How can I help?
Yeah, trucking, just dropping off an empty.
Give me 1 moment, please.
Sure.
What's the trailer number?
6243.
Alright, so you can drop this one on the yard, please.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, we are going to drop it in the yard. Once my brakes release. Now let's see if we have an easy peasy like we did up in Hazelton and just nose it into a dock and then push it straight back into a empty slot. And we'll come pick up our tank that's sitting right there. Yes, we do. Right next to JB Hunt here. We'll put it right in there. It's a lot easier than trying to do a 45er in there. I mean, we do what we have to, but when you don't have to, work smarter, not harder. I just want to center it up a little better, that's all. I do have a bit of OCD. I like to be centered in my spot that I'm dropping. It's considerate to everybody else. All right, we're in. All right, all in all, it wasn't too bad. So we're already hooked up to the tank, walked around it, kicked the tires, checked the lights. I knew it was in good shape, but still want to do a quickie pre-trip on it, even though we knew it was good. It was sitting here for a while, so we just double-checked everything. Connection's good, tires good, lights good. We're going to be getting out of here in a few minutes, and let's see how good I am with my time estimate of when I'm going to get to the shop. All right. So we fueled and now we're leaving, and let's see how easy this is going to be or how difficult this is going to be. This is depends on how many people are coming off the mountain, how many trucks are coming off the mountain. We got 3 coming from Tamaqua. Actually, it's not going to be bad. Nobody coming off the mountain at the moment. Sometimes this can be really difficult at this time of day. But we are going to spin a little bit unless I really take it easy coming out and making this U-turn like this. There we go. No, we didn't spin. 5 p.m. So it is 5 p.m. and we are fueled and we are headed back to the shop. Now we still got to get DEF. and then close out our paperwork. So I might hit it pretty close to 5:30 till we leave. So I think I said earlier in the video, and I will find out when I edit it, thought that we might get back between 5 and 5:30 p.m. And that's exactly what it looks like it's gonna be. So I overestimated my time getting up to Hazleton. I got there like 15 minutes earlier than what I thought I was gonna get there. But when I estimated the time of getting back to the shop and ending my day, I said between 5 and 5:30, and I think we're gonna really hit the mark. So, but anyway, once we get back there, we've gotta find a place to park, and maybe I'll show you that quick, and that'll be my closing segment. We gotta find a place to park, and then we gotta do our paperwork and close the week out and turn all that in and see what we're gonna do on Monday, if we're gonna do anything on Monday. Right now there's a winter storm watch up already for Sunday in the Monday afternoon. It says 6 inches or more possible, so we'll see what we end up getting. But if we get a big one like we got back at the end of January, we may not work on Monday. All right, so we just got DEF, and right now in the winter months we park the trucks on angles like you see here. Normally we park them down at the bottom. We'll spin around, do a flip, and back straight up to where that snowbank is. There's no snowbank there in the summer, but we back up to the edge of the parking lot and we park in a row along the creek down there. But in the winter months, when we need to plug them in, the outlets are along this other little stream, so we have to park them on an angle. So, and it makes it more difficult, especially in the dark, to get these things in here, because it's a pain. Now what I try to do is I try to go up here and then back up and kind of guess where the trailer needs to be so that I can just like pull straight into the spot. Then I don't have to worry about hitting trailer alongside me if I'm curving into it. So now, will I get it right? Who knows? We'll see. But I usually back it, I try to push the trailer to the left and get a line that I can just pull straight into that angle spot. Or at least nearly straight. And there is one. I might have nailed it tonight. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But this is the one I want. Kill that grade gripper. Yeah, I did. I nailed it perfectly. I don't usually get that lucky. Usually I gotta do it 2 or 3 times before I hit the right spot. Now we won't have to plug it in tonight because it's not cold enough, but we just keep them parked this way during the winter until we don't have any more threat of really cold weather. So, all right, we are in. So we gotta do our paperwork and do a quick post trip, and then we're gonna be out of here. And so we'll talk to you Monday or Tuesday in the next video when we do one.